All right, that's race number 6. Move on to the 7th on the programme. This is the Luger handicap. Class 3 over the 1,200 metres, the Luger.
You've seen this replay, Andrew.
Watched it a couple of times. Wishful Thinker, a last start course and distance winner, was favoured there. He's on his 3rd start. Waldorf gets the blinkers on. Infinity Endeavour was behind Super Wise last time out. Lucky Heroes behind Wishful Thinker last time out. Big Fortune, big price on debut, finishing 3rd spot. All Best Friends has won over this trip at Happy Valley. Iron Boy, already talked about him. He goes up in class, last start winner. And Sam's Love, barrier 13 and very close to a class drop. Joe Moreira in the saddle.
Yeah, he is. He's an interesting runner. Lucky Hero did show some speed in his first start and then handed up. He's, of course, gone back to the trials, recently performed well. There's a fair bit to like about his debut. Waldorf's got blinkers for the first time, so he might be a little closer. Victory Machine led a race earlier on in the season and just kept going. So they're the pace angles I would have thought. All Best Friends won't sit there. He'll press on, look for some cover, but he may annoy the leaders early.
Expect some improvement from Waldorf with these blinkers on, because he did win with those blinkers on in New Zealand, and he's trialled well and won that trial. So he's definitely on the improve. He's got no form, but I wouldn't be surprised to run well. Like the work from him, Big Fortune. You can see Gerald Marseille's got a massive hold on him. He did run 3rd behind Lean Perfection on debut, and he's come on from that as well. So I'm expecting a good run from him on Sunday. And Sam's Love has been getting back and running on from sort of some horrible barrier draws, but the problem being he's drawn 13 once again. So I expect him to get back and run on late. He is coming to Sha Tin, so he's got the big roomy track as well. When I say horrible barrier draws, one of them was 3. So it's not that bad, really, is it?
Right. Wishful Thinker is where we're going to start. Could be a big day for Chad Schofield. He jumps back aboard this last start winner.
Chad, Wishful Thinker, that was a pretty good last start win. Yeah, it was a very good win. He had a lot of work to do at the top of the straight, but he's a horse with a very big finish. The speed was on that day and he was able to come over the top. He's drawn widely on Sunday, but it doesn't matter too much with him because he doesn't begin well anyway. So we'll be back and hopefully the speed's on and he can run over the top again. In that sense then, does he make life tough for himself? Not necessarily, it's just his pattern. You know, if he did jump and you put him forward, he might not have, he probably wouldn't have that same finish. So that's his biggest asset, and if he's ridden accordingly, he can produce it. You've ridden him in his work since that run. He's had a month between runs. How's he come out of it? Yes, very well. It's only his 3rd start in Hong Kong, so he's just taken natural improvement. He's kept up to the mark, and he feels really good in his work, so going there confident. 35 minutes after you ride Wishful Thinker, you ride Singapore Sling, final piece of the puzzle, the barrier draw. You must have been happy with that result there. Yeah, perfect draw. Makes it a lot easier for me, that's for sure. He's got options now, so we'll sit down and go through the race with the connections, and you know, he's really looking forward to the race.
All right, again, we'll come back and talk about Singapore Sling, but Wishful Thinker, obviously a big chance here. Big Fortune was a big run on debut. Mosse rode him, actually, on this day as well. Jumps back in the saddle. He's come up with barrier 5.
Yeah, I think he upset a few TT players this day, finishing 3rd at, 96 to 1, but it was a good effort. And as Paul's just highlighted, that track work suggests he's come on even more. Lamarosa hasn't been able to recapture his best form, and he is getting close to a drop in class. So maybe the drop in grey back to the Valley would be better suited for him. Yeah, the winner's very smart, so you've got to take him out. I thought he hit the line quite nicely, this horse, Big Fortune, and I don't think it was a fluke. I found a spot for him in the numbers. I just thought he's going quite well at the moment.
All right, OK. $23 still. He's an
not a bad price as well.
Each-way player. Iron Boy spoilt 70-70's debut somewhat. And though 70-70 had issues, Iron Boy had to overcome a bit of trouble here himself early on. I mentioned earlier how Francis Lloyd got Vital Spring from John Sires. Well, Francis Lloyd got this one from David Ferraris, Iron Boy, and he's been able to win with it first up. And overpowering 70-70, as you mentioned, Andrew. Probably could have gone either way, had 70 of 70 sort of balanced up a little quicker, but still, a win's a win, and now he's got to come back into this class. He has won here once before from 26 starts, so that's a little concerning. Yeah, I just wondered, it was quite a hard run there, and I just thought he might be on the bounce, so I've left him out for that reason, but he won well enough. All right, OK. I think it must have been a big bet on Lucky Hero early because he was odds on. He's still favourite. I think that price will drift out. What do you think here, Paul? Yeah, I think he will too. And be a bit of wishful thinking about that. And I've got Wishful Thinker on top. He's doing everything right. He keeps improving from run to run. His track work's been good. I can't see why he can't improve. Barrier 11's not a problem. He'll get back.
Sam's Love, I've got in there for second. I've got him, he'll get back, he'll be running on nicely. Big Fortune, we've been seeing him and talking about him, and for third. And Lucky Hero was a good run on debut from him. I thought he'd gone and he fought back behind Wishful Thinker. So 1, 13, 6 and 4. Exotics 1, 6 and 13.
Once again, it's a race with a number of nice young horses heading forward, and Infinity Endeavour, I think, is in that category. I'm going to use that form line race with he and Wishful Thinker. There was very little between the two last start. Always Win was in front of them with 100 to go, and that was just his second run back from a very long break. He's drawn barrier 1. I'd expect him to improve, not without a chance of winning the race either. Lucky Hero, nice debut. He could improve enough to win too. I thought the winner would come from those 4. 3, 1, 5 and 4, and I'll play a trio and throw in the 8, Victory Machine. He's the little horse that could fly to the front and give them something to catch.
All right. Lucky Hero for me. Don't think he'll be favourites, but I think he might be somewhere near the pace and again be hard to run down. Next for us, though, is the BMW Hong Kong Derby. The classic mile winner, Nothing I Like More. Joe Moreira from barrier 13. Or could it be Singapore's Ling, the classic cup winner? He's drawn perfectly in barrier 3. Ping Hai Star, the second of the size runners. He's won his last 3 starts. And of course, we've got Exultant, one of 4 for Tony Cruz. He's drawn wide in barrier 12.